The night had always held a certain magic for me, especially nights like this, where elegance was not just an expectation but an art form. The annual Langley Charity Ball was a tradition in our family, an event I meticulously curated each year, ensuring that everything from the glimmering chandeliers to the floral arrangements reflected the perfection I sought in every aspect of my life. As I glided through the room, my gown flowing around me like liquid silver, I couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. Everything was as it should be, harmonious, balanced, a true reflection of my Libra soul. Yet beneath the surface, I was always searching for something more, something deeper that transcended the superficial perfection of the evening. I moved with practiced grace, offering smiles and nods to guests who complimented me on the event. Their praise washed over me like a gentle breeze, pleasant but not quite reaching the core of my being. My mind, always in motion, was preoccupied with maintaining this delicate balance. Each step I took, each decision I made, was calculated to create a symphony of beauty and elegance. And then, amidst the sea of familiar faces, I saw him. Leslie, a man who seemed to stand apart from the rest, exuding an aura of quiet confidence that both intrigued and unsettled me. His presence was magnetic, drawing my gaze like a moth to a flame. He was new to our circles, a recent arrival in the city, and there was something about him that made my heart flutter with an unfamiliar excitement. Our eyes met across the room, and for a brief moment, the world seemed to slow down. His smile was warm, genuine, and it sent a shiver down my spine. It was in that instant that I felt an inexplicable pull towards him, a connection that defied the careful balance I had always maintained. I could feel my carefully constructed composure beginning to waver, and it thrilled me. Determined to learn more about this mysterious stranger, I made my way towards him, my heart beating just a little faster with each step. I could sense that this encounter would change something within me, something fundamental. As I approached, I observed him in greater detail, the way he stood, the quiet strength in his posture, and the subtle curiosity in his eyes as they followed my movements. There was an unspoken understanding between us, a recognition of kindred spirits. When I finally stood before him, I felt an unusual mix of excitement and calm, as if the universe had aligned just for this moment. We exchanged the usual pleasantries, words that were expected but somehow felt inadequate for the emotions swirling inside me. His voice was steady, and his eyes held mine with a depth that made me feel seen in a way I hadn't been before. I knew at that moment that Leslie was different, that he would be someone significant in my life. Our conversation was effortless, a dance of words and glances that felt as natural as breathing. I found myself drawn to his stories, his insights, his very presence. There was a balance in our exchange, a perfect harmony that resonated with the core of my being. As the evening progressed, I felt a connection with Leslie that I hadn't anticipated, one that both thrilled and unnerved me. When the orchestra began to play a slow waltz, I found myself accepting his invitation to dance without hesitation. As we moved together across the floor, I was acutely aware of the balance between us, the way our movements mirrored each other. It was as if we had danced together 1,000 times before, each step a reflection of the unspoken bond we were beginning to form. In that dance, I felt a harmony that transcended the physical, a sense of balance and connection that I had always sought but never truly found. For the first time in a long while, I wasn't just the hostess of the evening, but a participant in something much more profound. As the night drew to a close, we found ourselves on the terrace, the cool night air filled with the scent of blooming jasmine. We spoke of dreams and aspirations, of our pasts and our hopes for the future. With each word, I felt the connection between us deepen, a sense of understanding that went beyond words. Leslie was different, and I knew that my life was about to change in ways I couldn't yet fully comprehend. When he finally bid me goodnight with a gentle kiss on my hand, I was left standing under the stars, my mind and heart filled with the promise of what could be. I knew that this was only the beginning, that our story was just starting to unfold. And as I watched him disappear into the night, I felt a quiet certainty that our paths were destined to cross again. At that moment, the perfection I had always sought in my life seemed less important, replaced by the thrill of something real, something unplanned and unpredictable. And for the first time in a long time, I allowed myself to feel, to hope, and to dream of what might come next.